been talking your language, maybe you should start talking ours. For your action pack, call us free on 0800 800 800. British Telecom. It's you we answer to.
Ice cream like there's never been. Real cream double churned for a smoother, more creamy taste. Soft caramel and the thick, real milk chocolate of Mars. It's the new Mars ice cream bar. You can't improve on a Mars, but you can improve on ice cream.
Hello, baby.
Only you.
Oh, lovies. Oh, darlings.
It's the air in your aero that makes you go, oh.
If you want a liquid that's not just biological, but double biological, try Ariel Liquid for double biological cleaning.
Anglia News follows in just a moment, and at 10:40 we conclude the film Cannonball Run 2. Now, the weather forecast.
Good evening. You may have noticed our forecast for ground frost over the last few nights, even though the temperatures on our air temperature charts have stayed above freezing. You can still get a ground frost, though, because the soil and the grass cool off a lot faster overnight than the air does. So by the end of the night, the gardens are several degrees lower than the air. At the moment, air temperatures are falling fairly close to freezing. You take 4 or 5 degrees away from that, and the gardens certainly will have some frost on them. The very last thing to cool down are the roads because of the heat they store up in the daytime. But later in the year, as the nights get longer, even the roads will be down below freezing. But let's come back to tonight now, and tonight's temperatures. These are air temperatures, 1 or 2 places close or perhaps even below freezing, but generally about +2 or +3 with a widespread ground frost. For tomorrow then, well, starting off rather grey and misty in some places. There'll be some fog towards the end of the night, and it could still be there in the morning, especially in central and southern parts of England there. But I think as we go through the morning, the clouds clearing away, the mist clearing away too, most places having some sunshine. During the afternoon, a good deal of sunshine, especially for much of England and Wales. But in the far north and west of Scotland in particular, you'll have a lot of cloud gathering there and some outbreaks of rain during the afternoon and in the evening too, some of it fairly heavy. The rest of us dry and relatively warm in the south, 17 to fairly pleasant 63, but with freshening winds and a temperature of 12 in the far northwest, a bit of rain as well, not too warm at all, it's only about 54. That's it from me. Here's a summary. Good night.
Good evening. The headlines for the Anglia West region tonight. Police say that a missing 4-year-old Hertfordshire boy may now be dead. The cost of water in the region looks set to increase. And the Duchess of York goes to the cinema in Milton Keynes. But first, detectives searching for 4-year-old Simon Jones, who disappeared from a Hemel Hempstead park on Sunday, say they fear he may be dead. They've called off a widespread search of the area and have now sent details of the missing boy to police forces up and down the country.
Hundreds of volunteers today joined police searching the Gadebridge Park area where Simon was last seen. Officers believe he may have been abducted, and they're anxious to trace a man who approached Simon as he played in the park with his older brother.
We're still desperate for information about the man who, Robert, that's Simon's brother, says spoke to him on Sunday afternoon. And it's this man that we need to trace. We need to trace information about this man, so if any other person saw him, we'd like them to come forward.
Police have tonight called off a widespread search of open land around Hemel Hempstead and are now following up over 300 calls made to a special telephone hotline. Senior officers say that as time passes, hopes are fading of finding Simon alive.
Details are tonight emerging of how 2 passenger jets narrowly missed a mid-air collision over Hertfordshire. The Civil Aviation Authority have confirmed that a Danair jet with 74 passengers and crew on board was forced to climb steeply to avoid a Swedish SAS plane carrying 105 people. The incident happened last night, 15,000 feet over Brooklands Park. A full investigation is now underway. Anglian water charges look set to go up. The increases are to deal with the problems of pollution and improving water facilities. News of the higher charges, described as inevitable by Anglian Water, were given at their annual general meeting at Castle Ashby in Northamptonshire, the first since privatisation. During the next 10 years, Anglian Water plans to spend £3.5 billion on improving standards and services.
The shareholders, some 400 out of a total of 120,000, gathered from all over the country at Castle Ashby near Northampton for this, the first AGM since privatisation. The majestic setting was matched by the staging and the stage managing of the meeting itself. The company announced pre-tax profits of £86 million on a turnover of £401 million and plans for a capital programme of £3.5 billion over the next 10 years. The money will be spent on reducing nitrate levels in drinking water, improving sewage treatment works and generally improving water quality. But who's going to pay for it?
I'm afraid the answer is the customers are going to pay for it. They're going to pay for it, though, through a price formula that was settled by the government when we're privatised and which will be very carefully monitored by the Director General of Water Services, who in the future has control of our prices and who's going to make very sure that we actually spend the money we get on the things we've got to do.
It hasn't been plain sailing for Anglian Water this year. Blue-green algae continue to spread in waterways, a condition blamed on the hot weather. The heat wave was also a cause of one of the worst droughts in the region for years, which led to a hosepipe ban in some parts. Complaints from customers about the way the company coped with or failed to cope with these problems flooded in throughout the summer. Anglian Water welcomed the government's white paper on the environment published yesterday, saying it enshrined their commitment to providing high-quality, safe water.
Firemen have tonight been fighting a blaze at a restaurant on the A1. Customers at the Happy Eater near Norman Cross were led to safety by staff when the fire was discovered. Fire crews from Peterborough and Yaxley quickly brought the situation under control. Dozens of pensioners lobbied councillors in Northampton today protesting about increased charges for adult training courses. Members of the pressure group Pensioners' Voice held their demonstration before a meeting of the County Council's Education Committee. They say that the increases of up to £30 a term will mean that many pensioners won't be able to afford the classes. The Duchess of York has been at the Point in Milton Keynes this evening. She's been the guest of honour at a royal premiere screening of a new blockbuster movie.
As the Duchess of York walked into the Point this evening, another piece of cinema history was made, albeit a small piece. All previous royal film premieres have been held in London. The choice of Milton Keynes as the first exception underlines the contribution this new city has already made to the cinema. As Europe's first cinema-based entertainment complex, the Point is credited with having been the catalyst for a British box office revival. The Duchess was here at the invitation of the local mental health charity Milton Keynes Mind, and proceedings from the evening will go towards Mind and another local charity, McIntyre. The film the Duchess was to see was Presumed Innocent, starring Harrison Ford, already a box office smash in the States and expected to do just as well over here.
This is absurd.
Go ahead, play cool. I know. You killed her. You're the guy.
Why did you tell me about you and Carolyn? This is my life. We're not talking about some gossip.
Now sport, and in football, second division Watford have lost 2-0 to first division Norwich in the Rumblers League Cup. In the first leg of the second round, the Canaries went one up after 5 minutes with a goal from Ian Crook. Then in the 90th minute, Tim Sherwood took the score to 2-0. And one other score tonight, still in the Rumblers League Cup. Peterborough United went down 3-0 at Loftus Road to QPR. On to the weather forecast for tonight, and let's see what's in store. It's going to be dry with variable cloud, although as the cloud becomes more broken, a touch of ground frost and patchy fog are likely. Tomorrow, any fog will clear by mid-morning to give a dry, bright day with some sunny periods. Winds will remain light and variable. The summary then, ground frost and fog patches tonight, dry with hazy sunshine tomorrow. Join us tomorrow for news throughout the day, and I'll be back with our main news programme at 6:25 tomorrow. A very good night from all of us at Anglia News. Bye-bye now.
After the break, the race is on in the conclusion of Cannonball Run 2.
We are the Mason family from Normanton, West Yorkshire.
And this is our commercial for radio.
That built a barbecue. With music by Lindsay.
That's what you doing?
With books in it.
You're working up a bit of a sweat, dear.
Look at that, that's excellent.
Voila.
Who showed you how to do that?
Get that t-shirt on.
This is a job for Radian.
He's for the wash.
This is the villain.
Boo!
Hey,
Boo!
and this is the hero.
Yeah!
Here we are. Radian strikes again. No dirt.
No smells.
No smell. Oh, Alan, it's a pity you don't fit in the washer.
Yeah, Radian! To dirt and odours.
Waiter, 4 coffees, please.
Certainly, sir, right away.
4 coffees, Harry.
When you want the taste of ground coffee in an instant, you'll be glad you've got Red Mountain.
Lovely coffee.
Oh, it's nothing. Chef can do it with his eyes closed.
Red Mountain and new smooth Cafe Mountain. It's like ground coffee taste without the grind.
Programmes still to come tonight on Anglia. At 11:45, Nick Owen introduces exclusive coverage of Cup football in midweek sports special. Lancaster take on Cardiff in quiz night at 1. We travel back to the 6th century Britain, where Tony and Doug assist King Arthur to fight off the Vikings. The Time Tunnels at 1:30. Stacey Keach and Lindsay Wagner head the star-studded cast in the first part of Princess Daisy from the book by Judith Krantz at 2:30, which takes us through to 4:15 and 50 years on. Farming Diary is at 4:35, and with ITN at 5, these are our programmes through the night tonight. You're watching Anglia Television.
This continues now as we go back on the road with Cannonball.